What's up everyone, welcome back to another Gunpla review, and today I'm going to be taking a look at this right here, and of course, this is the high-grade MS Option Set 8 and SAU Mobile Worker. Of course, again, this is from Iron-Blooded Orphans, and on the box there we've got Barbatos Lupus, with those kind of pickaxey things, I'm not sure what they're called yet, and there is the Yay Rail. I almost forgot what that was called because I didn't review that, so I don't have one of those for this review. Basically, when that came out, as well as Julia's Reagan Glaze and all those other kind of kits, that was in January, I think, maybe December, January-ish, and I didn't have a whole lot of time to do those. But anyway, maybe I will get around to them in future. Maybe, maybe not. But anyway, let's take a look at what we've got in here. Before that, however, there is the side of the box, and the only side of the box with anything interesting on it. This side here has nothing. This is just kind of to show you what it is if it's stacked on a shelf. Same here, so that's the only side with some interesting stuff on it. But anyway, let's open that up and see what we have. I've already put this together. First off, in here is the instructions. There's that half. There's that half. Again in Japanese and English this time. And everything is pretty simple here. So like I said, there are some parts for the rigging glaze there. So I'll just show you those. I won't be able to attach them on. But basically they're just some open hands. But anyway, there's a whole bunch of stuff. Let's check it out. So right there is everything that comes in the box. So essentially this is just a pack of pickaxes with hands, a shield, and the mobile worker. Now let's take a look at these one at a time. So first up then is the biggest pick, and surprisingly this is called a land mace. Even though it's not really a mace, it's a pick. Anyway, according to the box, this tool is used by workers in mobile suits for construction work and can be used in combat by the laborers during wars for independence and similar movements. This right here is just made out of two separate pieces of grey plastic, and they slot together just like that. Next up then is a smaller pick, and this is called a pickle. Doesn't look like a pickle to me, but anyway, according to the box about this one, it's used for the deconstruction of decrepit colonies with mobile suits. Not a whole lot to say about this little guy. You just cut it right out of the runner just like this. It's one piece of grey plastic and that is it. Like I said, not much to say. Next up then are the variable maces. According to the box, the claws extend from the end to catch the impact target. This time around there is a little bit more to these. They're made up of, I think, 4 parts each. The claw sections, just like it says on the box, can move in and out, and the handles can detach and fold up as well. So there is a closer look at them. Again, you'll recognize this symbol here of the Barbatos. This claw section, that's the part that moves in and out like that. The handle, like I said, that can pop out like so. I seem to have misplaced the instructions somehow, but by the looks of things, it slots in here like that. It doesn't really fit the other way around, so this must be the way. Next up then is the mobile worker, and there's not a whole lot to say about this. They are definitely cool little collectibles. They add some scale to your figures if you put them beside them. Of course, if you want these to look good, you're gonna have to paint them. Personally, I'm not a painter, but if you like to paint your kits, these will definitely be awesome for dioramas, and again, just for display purposes. And just like we've seen before, the top section of this can rotate like this all the way around. Next up then are the hands for the rigging glaze, and again I don't have that model so I won't be able to show them on it, but I assume that kit came with just fixed pose hands for holding things. So these are those optional expressive hands that seem to be becoming a staple of these option sets. And I never noticed, but the rigging glaze has really weird looking hands. Next up, and what to me is the highlight of this little option set, is the claw shield. Again, according to the box, the weapon is part of the shield with internal space for ammunition. So there's quite a lot more going on with this than the rest of the kit. For example, you can use this handle there to be held like a shield. It has an attachment point in here which looks the same as most attachment points on these kits, so that's probably for storage, maybe for attachment as well. This part can pull out like so. This larger section up here, this has another one of those holes. I think maybe they're 9mm, I think, and that'll probably be able to hold stuff like the forearm cannons of the Barbatos, stuff like that. So pull that off, and that can be attached in like this, and now what you've got is some shoulder armor, so that is really cool. And I foresee a lot of custom kits coming out using this as like samurai shoulder armor, because that is exactly what that looks like. Actually, let's see if those forearm guns actually attach on there. So pop that off and stick that on. So yeah, totally. I have to say, that's one thing I love about the IBO kits, the way everything just slots together. So I suppose you can just pull that off as well, stick it around that way, and using some of these adapters that came in some of the other kits, and stick it on up there like so, so we've got a shoulder cannon. So there's so many options with these kits, they're so cool. So I was going to use the old glaze to show off the stuff because I don't have the rigging glaze, but he's kind of gone a bit decrepit in his old age. The parts keep falling off, especially the backs of the hands, so it's giving me a headache. So I'm just going to do it all with what has to be my favorite IBO kit so far, the Lupus. But anyway, it's still dismembered from the Lupus Rex review, so let's stick that back together. Of course, if you haven't seen that review yet, then check out the card or whatever I'll put up here. So there it is, put back together with some fancy new side skirts. Okay, so let's check out that land mace. Actually, screw it, I give it to Gundam Vidar because it makes him look like a cool Death Gundam. I know this is meant to be a pick, but it's got a bit of a side vibe to it too. So that right there is the land mace. Next up then we've got the pickle, probably the most inoffensive sounding weapon ever. And again, it's pretty simple, but at the same time, pretty cool. And there is a look at the Barbatos Lupus with the variable mace. And I really have to say the amount of weapons available for the different forms of the Lupus, I think is unparalleled compared to any other high grade. Which is awesome, Bandai, keep it up. And before I forget, we also have two little adapters for sticking onto the backpack for attaching these on when they're not in use, just like so. And while we've got him out, why don't we try that awesome shoulder on him? I know in the box it shows it with the rigging glaze. Again, I don't have it, but I think it's gonna look much cooler on here. So that just attaches on here. Again, all these shoulder sections are identical on all these kits, so you can pretty much use it with any of them. So that slots on there like that, and there that is attached, and this definitely is giving the Barbatos a real samurai vibe now. With all the compatible parts, customization is so simple, but it's a shame it's not the right color. So that is it then for that quick review, and what can I say, it's another fun little option set. Definitely not my favorite, but not the worst. Totally worth it for that shield right there. The big land mace is cool as well, but it's all about the shield really. But anyway, thank you very much for watching, and make sure to come back for more Gunpla reviews. See you next time.